So one
Okay.
couple more minutes.
It's really windy in Waimea.
Okay, Chair, we are ready to get started. Thank you for patience.
All right. Aloha mai kako. Good morning, everyone. The hybrid meeting of the Cultural Resource Commission will now come to order. Quorum has been established with 5 members in attendance. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Hi, sorry, technical issues. Can you guys hear me again? My computer shut down right in the middle of everything. Sorry. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. It is currently 10:18 a.m. Pursuant to Act 220, Sessions Laws of Hawaii 2021, which amended the Sunshine Law to allow meetings to be remotely conducted online effective January 1st, 2022, Cultural Resource Commission will host a hybrid meeting of online and in-person participants. An in-person location has been identified on the agenda for the public to provide testimony on agenda items and to view the meeting. This meeting can also be viewed live online. A link to the YouTube live stream is provided on the county website. The video recording will remain on the YouTube channel for those who are not able to watch it live. Reports and surveys reviewed during this hearing are available on the county website. Commissioners, please be reminded that only one person may speak at a time. Raise your hand to be recognized if you have a question or comment, and please refrain from using the chat feature on Zoom. Uncle Des, would you mind providing a pule before we start?
Ai, mahalo ke akoa. Ini ako me amakoa. Just blessings to everyone on this special day to be with our commission and our online visitors. I just humbled to be among really wonderful people here today, and that we ask for strong guidance and opportunity to do what's special in our hearts, in our spirit, and then we come together as one to protect and create a legacy for our children, especially in all of our sacred sites, and that we work in accordance to Keakoa and what he demands of us, and those opportunities that we do what's correct, because we are so righteous. Amen.
Follow. Commissioners, please introduce yourselves and report if others are present in your location. I'll go first. I'm Matthew Clark, Chair. I am alone in my office.
Aloha. Desmond Almea, Vice Chair. Alone in my car. Out of the wind in Waimea.
Aloha pumehana o wau ku'ulei kealani a ohe kanaka ma ku'uhale. I'm ku'ulei kealani, nobody with me at my house. Thank you.
I'll go. I'm Janet Six. I'm in my office and I'm by myself.
Aloha, Darty Gamayo at the Kappa Studio. Just wanted to clarify something. I am on air right now, but I'm in two places at once, the magic of radio. So my show is pre-recorded so that I can attend the meetings in case somebody says, wait, Darty was on air. How could she be at the meeting? So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't have any magic. Well, let's call it the magic of radio. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Aloha,
I
everyone.
was listening to you on the way up here. I was like, hey, that's right, we have a meeting today.
Oh, well, I'm glad I served as a reminder, Uncle.
All right, mahalo. That's good to know. CRC staff support joining us today are Bethany Morrison, Planning Program Manager, Kim Tanaka, Planner, Ashley DeVera, Board Secretary, Jean Campbell, Deputy Corporation Counsel. Pursuant to HRS 92-3, interested persons who want to provide oral testimony may do so either at the beginning of the meeting when the board takes public statements on the agenda or immediately before the specific agenda item is called. Staff, please indicate if there are any members of the public wishing to provide testimony online or in person.
We do not have any testifiers, Chair.
Mahalo. So we're going to start with old business of the commission. Agenda item 1 is the Waikamalo Stream Bridge rehabilitation. We're going to review a letter prepared on behalf of the commission consisting of comments offered at the October 8th, 2025 meeting. Just as a reminder, this bridge is in Pua'akuloa, Kapena, and Piha Kahuku o Hilomoku, Hawaii Island. And I guess, are there any members of the public or from the, I guess the project team is here from HDOT and WSP? Anyone wishing to provide testimony at this time?
This is Andrew Hirano from HDOT. I don't have anything to testify about. I'm the project manager for the Waikamalo Bridge project.
Okay. Mahalo. I believe you guys have probably seen, and the commissioner should have seen, there is a draft letter that we were provided before this meeting. I guess I can read it and then we can discuss. At its public meeting held on October 8th, 2025, the Cultural Resources Commission reviewed the Waikamalo Stream Rehabilitation Project pursuant to Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, including consultation with Native Hawaiian organizations and potential consulting parties. Below is a summary of the Commission's comments and recommendations. The CRC strongly recommends conducting a survey or field inspection on both the project site and the area of potential effect. Commissioners cautioned against proceeding with the project without proper studies, noting that a lack of documentation or literature of the area does not imply the absence of significant natural and cultural resources. Commissioners noted that the presence of coconut trees, freshwater, and possible nearby lowy taro patch strongly suggest that the area may have historically supported sustainable living practices. The commission emphasized the importance of place names, which often reflect the historical and cultural significance of the area. Further research into the names of the Aupua'a land division was recommended. The area was inhabited by Filipino and Chinese communities during the plantation area, many of whom later relocated to Kea'au and Honoka'a. The CRC recommends reaching out to these former residents or their descendants for additional historical insight. Due to the availability of water and proximity to gulches and valleys, this site may provide ideal habitat conditions for species such as Ope'apea, the Hawaiian hoary bat, and other coastal birds. The CRC requests careful assessment of potential impacts on these species during project development. The proposed APE should consider the possibility of remediation efforts, particularly in relation to lead contamination. And the CRC conveyed its desire to remain a consulting party throughout the Section 106 process as the project progresses. Any comments on that, commissioners? We can make a simple motion to accept it as is, or we can suggest revisions and make a motion to add those. Or we can just say we don't approve of the letter at all. So Feel free. Anyone have any thoughts?
Uncle Desio, it was really well written. Thank Mahalo for that. It was really on point. I move to accept.
I second.
Okay. Commissioner Haumea has moved that the commission approve the letter as presented and authorize its submission on behalf of the commission. That was seconded by, sorry, I missed, was that Kule? No, sorry, who seconded? Darde, thank you. Mahalo.
It's copper radio.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
All opposed? Okay, the motion has passed. The letter is approved without revision. That completes that first agenda item. Now we move on to new business of the commission. And folks at HDOT and WSP, you will receive this letter in the mail. I believe I'll sign it and it will go out to you soon. Thank you, staff, for putting that together. Very well written. Number two, this is my agenda item. It's an update of the Mayor Kimo Alamida's meeting for chairs and vice chairs of Hawaii counties and boards and commissions. Both Uncle Des and I were invited to this. I was able to attend on Saturday, October 18th from 9 a.m. to noon. We met at the mayor's office, Lanai in Hilo. There was quite a good turnout. A bunch of chairs and vice chairs from the various commissions showed up. And so I was just going to kind of just give a little summarize what we did there and what I learned. And you know, I honestly knew very little about boards and commissions. I only joined this one because I was asked, and I didn't realize how many there are and what functions they fill at the county. So there are actually over 35 active boards and commissions on Hawaii Island. This includes the CRC, and there are anywhere between 180 and 220 volunteers that serve on these commissions and boards at any given time. There are 4 different methods to create boards, commissions, and advisory committees. They're either federal or state law, county charter, county ordinance, or by the mayor's office. And the CRC, which we are members of, is created by ordinance. So at the meeting, Mayor Alameda was there. He provided an introduction and kind of spoke. He served as a member of at least one board or commission before becoming mayor in his younger years, and he talked about his experience there. I think this meeting was really brought about because they are having trouble filling all the boards, and they're trying to locate good people to bring on. There's also been some technical difficulties with online meetings and folks taking over those meetings and showing inappropriate content to the people involved in those meetings. And just, you know, I think there's been at some of the in-person ones, there's been situations that have been escalated where people get heated, and he wanted to talk about making sure that maintaining decorum and making sure to try and de-escalate those things. And he provided several ways where you could do that. The rest of the meeting was facilitated by Micah Alameda, who showed up here to talk about, he's trying to fill the board seat for the Cultural Resource Commission. I think we still have one open seat right now, and there'll be others coming up this year. I know a couple of people term out. And basically we had small group discussions. So everyone came in, just sat wherever. There was about 4 or 5 tables with different chairs and vice chairs sitting at them. And he kind of asked us questions about how familiar are we with the sunshine laws? What are the ethics of being on these boards? What kind of support do we get? What kind of support do we need? What kind of training do we get? What do we need? And various questions like that. And we discuss at the table, and then we'd make a list, and then the whole group would come together and kind of discuss have takeaways. I know he's planning on summarizing that. I reached out to him earlier this week. There's not a summary of it yet, but for me, it was really interesting just to be able to sit with other folks who serve on these commissions and learn what they do and what their roles are and their experiences. And I was sitting at a table with the chair and vice chair of the Committee on the Status of Women, the vice chair, both the vice chairs of the Leeward and Windward Planning Commission, and the vice chair of the Water Board. So, you know, kind of a range of folks. And we had good discussions. And, you know, I think one of my big takeaways is that we're very lucky to be under the planning department and have the support of the staff that we do, and also have Jean showing up to every meeting and having the support of the same corporation council all the time and getting good advice. So thank you very much for all the work you guys do. And some of the boards get almost no support, or they get their agenda items mailed to them snail mail the day before the meeting, and they have to read through all hard copies. Some have a different corporation counsel giving them different advice at every single meeting, and sometimes that advice doesn't agree. Those were some of the things that came up. You know, we discussed different things about in-person versus virtual meetings and the pros and cons of that. And different ideas on how do you work with community folks who may be upset or have want to air grievances at these, and can you treat everyone fairly? And lots of suggestions came up. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with that very often at our meetings, and it's we're blessed to have a good group of commissioners and folks that I really like meeting with regularly. But one suggestion I got from everyone sitting at my table is they really enjoy the in-person meetings, and that was something they thought we should consider, is maybe just, even if it was once or twice a year, or once in Kona, once in Hilo, meeting in person, just to get to sit and have lunch with each other, talk in person, face to face, and allow community members to come in and meet us as well. So that was one thing that came up that we could maybe talk about at some point. Another, the vice chair of the Leeward Planning Commission, they made a motion recently to ensure that all the letterhead and information on the top of the county letters that go out from their commission also include Olelo Hawaiʻi, all the information written in Olelo Hawaiʻi. And so, you know, I think they're working on that. I believe they're under planning commission, and that's being looked at if they're able to do that, if it's fair. I think there's lots of rules around it, but that's also something she suggests we pursue. And I think that is a good idea that we have both on the top of the letterhead. And another thing that came up was public awareness of these boards and commissions, and maybe that's why it's so hard to fill seats sometimes. Mike Alameda, he insisted that he gets lots of applications, but he wants to make sure that he's not just putting anyone on these boards. So it's a tough vetting process. We all had to go through it and get approved by the commission, the main Hawaii Island Commission. I'm just spacing on their name right.
County Council.
County Council, thank you. Yeah. And that it's difficult. And so one of the things that was brought up was maybe getting out in the public, showing up at public events and having a booth for various commissions where they can talk to people, let people know what we do, why maybe you'd consider joining if you felt like it and if you'd be good, and then forwarding on those names. It was, yeah, those were the main takeaways for me. And, it was interesting just to sit and hear people's different experiences on these boards and commissions and what they do. And all of them have very different responsibilities. Some are responsible for hiring the fire chief or the police chief, or firing them, or some review ethics in the whole government. And there's a lot of interesting boards out there, and I just felt lucky that we have the board that we have, and that we have the support we have. So any questions? That's kind of my rough synopsis of what went on. Yeah, go ahead, please, Uncle Des.
So in this meeting, was it discussed about terming out, about how the landscape or how it changes the dynamics of commissions when people term out and you bring in new people? Was that ever discussed?
It was brought up and how things change and it's different people and different, I mean, even one, and part of that was it came up that getting a quorum is often very difficult for many of these
Oh, yeah,
board
yeah.
commissions, and they only meet like a couple times a year because they can't do it. I guess Mike Alameda, he serves on the youth commission, which has 16 members. So to have quorum, they have to have like 9 people show up, and they rarely get those 9. And terming out is difficult. People can stay on a little longer, I think was discussed. But I mean, it's kind of the purpose of the commission that it changes over time, and that it's set with very, strict rules about how long you can serve and when you can come back. And I think that's on purpose.
The reason I asked that is, I sit on the borough council actually when it was formed back in Honokahua time, and we had the reburials at Ritz-Carlton. And it was good because we had some really good people that was really connected. Then it changed, and I came back onto the borough council. And like I said, there were a couple of meetings where the front office clerk represented the Attorney General's office. And then another one was, I just started. So, but I'm so, we're so fortunate to have Corp Counsel here, Gene here. Every time we have a meeting, we have this consistency. What I'm getting at is this: once we build these relationships, and for this group we have right here, right now, I mean, I really, I look forward to these meetings because we get really progressive and actually kind of aggressive in a way, getting things done, sharing our cultural views. And it's been so difficult at the Borough Council because it's a very emotional commission. And it gets, and then, so I represent KAU, so I go out, I do outreach representing a commission, I go out and then I have one this Saturday, and it's going to be huge because it's about this development in KAU that people feel that, but anyway, so that was my concern, is just to continue this relationships. And I understand term out is volunteerism, but for me personally, I wouldn't mind staying on if Gene can find a loophole to keep us on. The borough council is supposed to be 9. We always cannot meet quorum with 5. It's so difficult, and it's very sensitive commission or council to be on. But I really enjoy this time, especially the staff. The letter they just drafted. Talking about the Hawaiian bats. It's a really full knowledge, not only for the commission to make decisions, but I'm sure through 106 is also educating. I share once we get meeting with my students, and look what happened. And I think I have a couple on right now, but the dynamics that we create in the CRC is I'm just blown away. It's really good. We get some really good members. And if Gene can find a loophole,
Well,
yeah, I hate to lose these dynamics. In other words, another one is meeting face to face. So we sit with the borough council, and I forced Kay at that time. I said, "You have a budget. We're volunteering. Yeah, we get mileage, but we need food. Food can bring us together." So we've been joking about it, but then I found out all those bentos we were getting, it was actually a day old. So but what I'm getting at, food can bring us together. We're volunteering. The state get money, county get money. Just that was my point. What else was just to start over again. We brought in you guys, Darty, Pule is here, and we have Janet. It's just I really enjoy these meetings. Yeah. And I just want to continue these relationships. Or if we bring new people on because of training, I think we stay on so they can see what's happening in the CRC and how we develop these relationships so they can carry this on. Yeah. Okay. I'm muting myself.
All right. I guess what I will offer is I'm not aware of any loopholes that let you serve longer than you all get to serve. However,
Well, do your work.
however, let me I'll fill you in a little bit. All of your, as you know, all of your terms are staggered, so there is overlap, right? New people come in, and hopefully we never have the whole commission just disappear all at once and all 100% new people. So, by that slow turnover process, the idea is exactly what you were talking about, Uncle Des, where you guys continue to train the people who are following behind you. And then, once they're the senior people, they will continue to follow and train the next people that follow after that. I guess as far as continuing to be involved, you can always show up and provide testimony. You can attend the meetings even when you are no longer a member. These are open public meetings. And so, I would encourage anybody who's interested to continue to show up and, and share your mana'o through public testimony and whatnot after you're no longer a member. And I believe there is a waiting period for all of our boards and commissions before you can come back on. But so long as you wait out your waiting period, you can serve more than one term in time. And so there's lots and lots of ways to be involved. And I will also, just to take one super short second, express my also appreciation, like you, Uncle Des, for bats. I was lucky enough to camp at Kiholo last weekend and saw bats both Saturday and Sunday mornings. So appreciation for bats. Anyway, back to your agenda item. Now I will encourage you to get back on your agenda items.
And this did come up, and I think one thing we can do as commissioners is, we know we're terming out. If you know somebody who would be good to serve on this commission, please reach out to them and let them know, hey, I would be great if you could apply, because I'm leaving and there's not enough people on this. So I think that's one thing we can do. And Jean speaking also reminded me that a lot of the commissions don't get any training on sunshine laws or Robert's rules. So we're lucky to have that yearly training. I think some of Darty may not have gone through it yet, but I think in January we should continue that process of just updating, making sure everyone's aware of the rules and how to do that. So that training, I really did feel lucky to be part of this commission and sitting with the folks I was sitting with. And the planning commission sometimes has 2 days meetings just hearing testimony, and it can be very difficult. And so I think we're lucky in that sense. Any other questions, any takeaways, anything? I guess I would like to suggest that we look into seeing if we can get Aloha Hawaiʻi in addition to English on the top of our letters that go out. I think that process has already been started. So if we can piggyback on that, I think that would be great.
I have one more question for staff. I mean, this I find value in attending community events, just being there. Oh, and you're with the Borough Council. Oh, like tomorrow it's about it's a development kind that affects. I think it's going to come across our table soon. But no, if the staff, I don't know how the commissioners feel. But a 10 by 10 with a table and a chair, and so that more people know about, they just don't know what the commission is for. What do you do there? But that might, attract more people to come on board and be part of how many? 35 commissions.
Yeah, 35, a lot of people. And I think we can do that. Mike Alameda even offered, or someone asked, the game management commission person asked if he could get tents and tables and chairs so that we could just show up at these things and set up and just give information. He said he was open to that. The mayor's office would be happy to provide those. And so I think as long as we don't have, as long as it's 3 or less, or 4 or less, we can show up at these things.
And unless they go to the website, they don't really know who's on a commission.
Yeah.
Would be good to, hey, this is the Cultural Resource Commission and these are the people, and and people can have a closer relationship with the commission and its members.
Yeah, and something actually Ku'ule and I were discussing with the staff, I think we can bring this up, is maybe put together some sort of diagram showing how we fit into the historic preservation realm in Hawaii, and what our duties and responsibilities are, and how we assist in that. And so that's something we can
Right.
also discuss as well moving forward.
There's that Hawaiian word, koanaike, more knowledge, you know, can really move our lahui forward, our people. Not only Hawaiians, everybody, yeah. Because the work we do affects everyone.
Yeah, and
Okay,
we're
I'm muted.
definitely people working on it, so.
Just to offer for the planning department, you know, our long range division, which you folks are under as well, we have all of our community development plan action committees, which do go out into communities. So we have, I don't know if we have a tent, but we certainly have materials for being able to do some community engagement. So that's there. And we can think about, you know, most of our engagement happens around meetings, but there are events that happen too. And definitely our community members are always reaching out saying, hey, this thing is happening and can you share it out? So that's something we can think about maybe next year, January-ish, when we get into, you know, what does 26 look like for us? If we want to do some outreach components. And then, yes, working on the sort of graphic about just sort of how does cultural resources get managed, you know, what agencies do what. Yeah, so we can have that too, maybe in January as well.
And the Christmas craft fair. We can all go to Christmas craft fair and shop while sharing. Sorry.
How does that? If we all show up, some of us would have to leave, right?
Rotate while we're shopping.
Yeah. But I also think we should consider in January maybe scheduling a couple in-person meetings next year, one in Kona, one in Hilo, something like that, or Waimea, you know, wherever we can, and that should be something we should discuss coming the new year, and maybe with the election of the new chair.
Aloha, everyone. I'm not sure if it matters, but I figured I might as well let you folks know. I have my daughter now at home. Kanuoka Aina got shut down because of the safety issues. So they just closed Kanu. And so I have my daughter at home with me now.
Yeah, it was windy over there yesterday. It must have got worse, huh?
It's horrible today. You know, meeting in Waimea would be great, but we can go HPA. I can get HPA, you know, and they get good lunches there.
All right. Any more discussion on this matter? Or we're good? Okay. That brings us on to administrative matters. Approval of minutes for October 8th, 2025. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Cultural Resources Commission meeting held on October 8th, 2025?
Oh, I move to accept.
Okay, we have a motion approved. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
It was moved by Commissioner Haumea and seconded by Commissioner Kealani. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye. I was muted, so I'm saying aye again. Aye.
Okay. That means minutes approved as circulated. Next, well, actually, staff, I saw a letter come in before the meeting. Was that going to be were you guys going to talk about any of that stuff today?
Yeah, Chair, I just have a couple of updates if that's okay with you. One was actually to talk about our CRC terms, as we do have a couple of members terming out on December. And so, yeah, asking that we help with recruitment. No pressure, Ku'ule, but you're one of those members. So if you can find someone that could be a good replacement, that would be really appreciated. And then the other one, that just came out to you folks is that the State Historic Preservation Division is beginning the process to update this statewide historic preservation plan. And so they just did a press release. There's a website, www.hawaiipreservationplan.com with more information. And I'm assuming there's going to be a series of meetings, which we'll need to think about attending. It sounds like this update goes through 2034, which is kind of a weird number. I'm not sure how they came across that number, but anyway, so that one's important to be monitoring for sure. And then finally, just a reminder that we had a few Section 106 consultations that staff did on behalf of CRC. These had kind of many projects that, we didn't feel were necessary to bring forward to the commission. So those were completed since our last meeting. And I think that's the only updates I have.
Okay, mahalo. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Any additional announcements? Okay, this concludes the items on this agenda. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I so move. We adjourn.
Second,
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Bye.
Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all. Aloha.